What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Beardo Sports. Tom here, and I'm ready for this week's Power Rankings. Welcome to the Week 7 Power Rankings, and this week's going to be a little bit different because I added some honorable mentions. It was really hard to break this down to just 10 teams, but I wanted to throw in some honorable mentions that are not going to be in the top 10, but they're close and could be, and I think are potential. The first team in the honorable mentions is the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs have started looking a lot more like themselves. They did have a tough loss to the Jaguars last week, but they went and they beat the Detroit Lions this week in a very convincing fashion. Their offense is looking a lot better until it is more consistent, and some of the other teams start falling even more than they already have. Right now, they're honorable mention. They're probably going to be in the top 10 very soon if they keep playing like they have been. Second team I have in the honorable mentions is the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Packers had a little bit of trouble. They tied the Dallas Cowboys, and they have a tough loss against the Browns. However, they came back and they played Joe Flacco for the second time this season. This time they got the win. They're starting to look a little bit better. They need to see a little bit more from their defense, especially with Micah Parsons. Some more sacks would be nice, especially with how their defense is built. But for now, sitting in the honorable mentions, Kansas City and the Green Bay Packers. Now, taking a huge tumble this week, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the Eagles have only scored 17 points in each of their last 2 weeks. They lost to the Broncos at home, and then they got their butts kicked by New York in New York. I'm not saying that they're bad, but right now, their inconsistencies are starting to show, and teams are taking advantage of that. Maybe they got lucky with some of their wins early this season. However, maybe it was just talent. At the same point, maybe some of that luck is running out and teams are starting to figure them out a little bit more. Maybe the Super Bowl hangover is starting to kick in. Regardless of that fact, they've lost 2 in a row and they haven't scored more than 17 points in the last 2 weeks. So they're dropping down pretty far, number 10. Next up, another big pretty fall from grace, number 9. Got the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Bills lost to the Patriots and caused the Patriots to jump up pretty well. Thought, hey, maybe that was the inconsistencies on offense and the defense. Maybe that was kind of a fluke. It was a divisional game. But then they go to Atlanta and play the Atlanta Falcons, and it all showed up again. Their defense is not looking very strong, especially against the run game. And then on top of that, their offense, severely inconsistent, more turnovers, and they're definitely struggling right now. So until they can kind of course correct, they're at number 9. If they don't, maybe we see them falling off this ranking. We'll see if they can recover from it. Personally, I hope that they do. But right now, they're not playing to what we thought they would, and they are definitely struggling, especially the last 2 weeks. Number 8, got the 49ers. Now, the 49ers lost, and the reason that they're above the Bills and the Eagles is the 49ers are dealing with a severe amount of injuries, and yet they're winning games and they're keeping games fairly close. This one wasn't as close. They lost Fred Warner in this game, and that is going to cause a huge issue. Hopefully they can adjust and have a new kind of, defensive captain take over on pointing out what changes need to be made on the defensive side, and we'll see if they can overcome this. The other part is, though, they're about to start getting healthier. Rumor has it the 49ers will have George Kittle, Brock Purdy, and Ricky Pearsall back very soon. And if they can get back in stride, they might be able to continue to win. They had a tough game and a really bad addition to their already bad injury list. So we'll see if they can continue to pull things out and win. For now, still number 8 on the power rankings. Number 7. Got the LA Rams. Now, the Rams just won. They had lost. They did beat the Ravens, but right now the Ravens, to be honest, the Ravens kind of suck, especially without Lamar Jackson. Their offensive play calling is highly suspect. They finally got Derrick Henry involved in the game, but that was not enough to overcome the lack of a true QB going for the Ravens. So right now, LA, while it was a win, and they have a very good record, wasn't enough of a giant victory to jump them way up, but they did jump up a bit, and they're number 7 on the power rankings. Number 6, taking a fall from last week, you've got the Detroit Lions. Now, the Lions have been playing very well. This was a game against Kansas City, in Kansas City, where they made a lot of mistakes. Some very uncharacteristic mistakes for the Lions. So to say that they're bad or their injuries are really taking a toll. I think some of it was just miscues and mistakes. We'll see if that's going to be the case going forward. For now, they're dropping down quite a bit from number 1 last week to number 6 this week until they can prove that these were just miscues in this game and the injuries are not really taking a toll and they're going to be more consistent moving forward. But for now, they drop down to number 6. Number 5. Got the Denver Broncos. Now, the Denver Broncos did not have a resounding win against the Jets. Their offense struggled mightily. However, that defense is insane. Holding the Jets to negative 10 passing yards for the game is insane. They went and they played the Eagles and they won. And then they turn around, fly to London, play the Jets in London, and they squeak out a victory with the defense looking crazier than ever. The defense is leading the league in sacks by 10. They have 30 sacks on the season already, and you have Nick Bonito rolling with 8 right now. Overall, the defense is looking amazing. If the offense can get it together, this team is really scary. But right now, the offense is a huge question mark. But they have won 2 in a row, including the Philadelphia Eagles. And then on a crazy week of traveling to London, while the offense didn't look good, the defense is looking scarier than ever. Number 4, got the New England Patriots. Now, the Patriots have basically taken over command of the AFC East, and they are playing very well. They have a very good team kind of dynamic going on right now. They're playing very well. Drake May is starting to look like the next franchise quarterback for the New England Patriots. And they're looking very strong week over week. They beat the Bills last week. And then this week, you have another good win with Drake May throwing 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. And there is considerable hope there for Patriots fans that, hey, maybe we finally found our franchise quarterback. The defense is playing fairly well. And they have currently now won 3 in a row. So at 4-2, I've got the New England Patriots. At number 3, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they've got another win. They've won 3 in a row. They are winning very tough games. They have a solid offense and a solid defense. And they are in the AFC North, which is currently, for all other teams, an absolute show. And the reason it's that is because you have a Joe Burrow-less Bengals, you have a Lamar Jackson-less Ravens, and then you have the Browns, which are the Browns, and they just don't seem like they have a true identity right now, and they're just kind of trying to build upon something, but they're not really sure what. But the Steelers are winning games. They've won 3 in a row, and they're looking pretty solid, sitting at number 3. At number 2, moving up, got the Indianapolis Colts. They're still looking so good all around, and that offense with Jonathan Taylor and Daniel Jones playing fairly well as well, they're looking good, and their defense is doing well. And just the fact they're 5-1 right now, one of the best records in the league. The Colts, they're sitting at number 2. They might actually be for real. We'll see moving forward, but right now I'm putting them way up at number 2. And number 1 this week, I've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now the Buccaneers go in, they still have injuries. They are missing their starting running back. They're missing 3 of their best wide receivers, 2 of their best offensive linemen, and they're still getting wins. They've won 2 in a row. They are 5-1. Baker Mayfield is looking like that guy and is easily the favorite for MVP at this early stage in the season. And the fact is, they might get better as time goes on because some of the injuries that they've sustained aren't going to matter anymore because these guys are going to be coming back. So right now, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 5-1, number 1 in my power rankings. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Please like, please subscribe. I appreciate all the support. Let's keep this thing going, and we'll see what happens in Week 7 that's going to possibly shake these power rankings up even more. Thank you again, and I'll see you guys soon.